The iiRcade's a great product, but it could use a little help in the game department. What's going on, ladies and gents? It's your boy MikeOfAllTrades. Today we're going to talk about the iiRcade and a couple games that I think that would help boost up its library and boost its potential up tremendously. First thing, like you see, smash the like button and subscribe if you're not, as we do all the things. So, like always, chat, I got a list. I have a list of games that I think that will be beneficial to the iiRcade's ecosystem. So it's not exactly a 10 games, it's 10-ish, 10-ish with a caveat. So the first game we're talking about, chat, you can see behind me, it's Wrestle War. Wrestle War is a Sega Genesis game. It's an arcade game, and two people can play together. I think that's a game that you play online. Retromania Wrestling, while it is on the cabinet, it doesn't have online yet, and the game's not even finished yet, so it'll be kind of harder for them to probably get online active on that. You know what I mean? Staying in that same wrestling genre, you could also do Fire Pro Wrestling. Fire Pro Wrestling, I think, is a great game. It's not demanding, and you could transition that well over to the iiRcade, and people probably enjoy it a lot with the customization and the creation suite that it offers and whatnot. It'd probably be a really good game to have on the iiRcade. Now, you know me, so we're gonna talk about a fighting game. And there's no fighting game out there that's better than I think the iiRcade should have on it, besides Power Rangers Battle for the Grid. Yeah, seriously. No, come back! Power Rangers Battle for the Grid. Power Rangers Battle for the Grid was made by the devs who worked on Marvel's Capcom 2. It's essentially a spiritual successor, just with morphers and villains, It's freaking great, It's cross-play. Now, I don't know if iiRcade could get it to work cross-play with everybody else, but, you can play the game. It's great. It's not very difficult, It's easy. It's one of those easy to master or easy to play, hard to master games. It's depth. It's immensive, but it's complex at the same time. Power Rangers Battle for the Grid is awesome. You can play it on Game Pass if you want to try it out. It goes on Steam, fairly free and cheap. Same thing with Nintendo Switch. It's literally on everything, and it has built-in crossplay. So if iiRcade was able to score a deal with them, then yeah, Power Rangers Battle for the Grid. Another fighting game, like I said, 10-ish. If they couldn't do that, Red Earth from Capcom. Red Earth is going to be on the Capcom Collection next month, and it's a fighting game. It's on Capcom's Fighting Evolution. It's one of those games that it's obscure enough that people recognize it when they hear it, but it's so obscure that some people may have not have played it. So Red Earth is another game that should be able to run very well on the iiRcade, and maybe they could try to go in and get that and add that to the collection. Streets of Rage, right? I know you guys have Mayhem Brawlers. Mayhem Brawlers is on there, right? But everybody's been screaming about Streets of Rage, particularly Streets of Rage 4, right? Now, I'm not the person to be like, hey, well, this is easily attainable. I'm not that guy, but there are other games besides Streets of Rage that you can get, which leads me to Sega games, like Gunstar Heroes, Alex Kidd and whatnot, because it's technically an arcade console. Maybe put a couple console games on there, that might be really freaking great to have, you know what I mean? Okay, this one right here, Frogger. You all know Frogger. You love Frogger. Frogger was done by Arcade 1-Up. It didn't sell that well, but Frogger, I think, is a downloadable game. It'd be great. And hell, you could probably even skin a iiRcade Gold based around Frogger. I'm pretty sure it's easily accessible and probably easy enough to get a hold of. So I would recommend Frogger. Q*bert is another one of those games where everybody loves Q*bert. Everybody screams that they want Q*bert. People want Arcade 1-Up to make a Q*bert cabinet, but it's so niche, right? And it's so niche to the fact that you could probably get Q*bert on your platform, and I think it would make a lot of people happy. So Q*bert's one of them. So this next game I'm suggesting, because of the new initiative with iiRcade Gold and gaming accessories being accessible. And so for that, I'm going to recommend Spy Hunter. Spy Hunter will be great. You know, you can play it, you drive with a wheel. You know, Spy Hunter is classic. Besides, who doesn't remember going to a Spy Hunter cabinet every game and being like, yeah, Spy Hunter would be freaking great to have. Now, I've listed almost everything, but you need a shooter, because eventually they're going to support light gun games. So, I'm recommending Operation Wolf 1 or 3, Area 51, you know, or some shooter that would go along well with that. You know, give the people options to be able to maximize it, you know. So, maybe one of those titles, you know, to fulfill that need. You know what I mean? The next titles that I'm going to recommend are from Konami, but they're obscure. So, well, not all of them are obscure. Most of them are obscure. So, Cowboys Moo Mesa, Sunset Riders, my man Bucky O'Hare, and all the other obscure 4-player games. Since they've shown that they are able to do 8-player online at one time, it should be no problem to do any of these 4-player games and do them together and do them well on the iiRcade. So I say, hey, it's not, you know what I'm saying, it's not like, you know, something outlandish. It's not Turtles, it's not Simpsons, it's not X-Men. We're talking about titles that they can maybe practically actually maybe get away with. So obscure 4-player games, that's what they should do. Now, speaking of Konami, Arcade 1-Up hasn't done Contra yet. They haven't done Russian Attack yet. Now, do we know if they're doing them or not? No clue. But I think Contra and Russian Attack, those are 2 arcade games, 2-player arcade games that iiRcade should maybe target. You know, I don't know what the likelihood of them actually getting it in and getting it, but hey, never hurts to try, right? Now, the last game that I'm going to mention is a racing game, because you want to maximize your gaming accessories. And what better way to maximize than San Francisco Rush? I'm sure it can run San Francisco Rush. I'm sure it can probably run Rush 2049. Either one of those games will be great for anybody who has a steering wheel and pedals and a shifter. That would probably do amazing on the iiRcade. Let's see, are there any other games I'm forgetting? Oh, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. While it's still not delisted, maybe try to get that from Ubisoft. Don't know how well that's gonna go. That wasn't on my list, but it literally just came to the top of my head right now. Pilgrim is great. I love Scott Pilgrim personally. It's amazing. Oh, and Shredder's Revenge. I know, he's been screaming about it forever, and you know, never say never. That's the best way I can really put it about Shredder's Revenge. But what do you guys think? Are any of these titles titles that you guys want to see? Are there titles that I missed that they should add? Let me know in the comments below. I'm MikeOfAllTrades. Thank you guys for watching, and like, share, subscribe. I'll catch you on the next one. Later.